How's it going, guys? You're watching Dirt Bike Channel. I'm your host, Kyle Brotherson, and today we've got a gear review. We're going to talk about the Klim F3 helmet. That's what's coming up. So let's talk a little bit about this helmet. I've been using a lot of the Klim gear that I've been picking up over the last few months, and I've really enjoyed basically everything that I've seen from them. There's been a couple of little hits and misses here, and this one is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. There's definitely some hits here, but there's some misses, and this is one of the biggest misses that I've seen from Klim, and I'll get into that in just a few minutes. But first I want to talk to you about the things that I like about the helmet. I actually like the color of this helmet. One of the problems that I've had with some of the stuff that I've seen from Klim is they haven't had a ton of different, colors that I liked, but this was kind of a cool color. I like vibrant colors, I like oranges, I like some bright colors, and this definitely had that. And I've been using this helmet for a number of months here, And let's talk about some of the hits for sure. Some of the hits are that it ventilates pretty well. This helmet has a good fit. I normally wear a medium-sized helmet, and that's what this one was, and it fit quite well. You can tell it's muddy here because I actually muddy and dusty, and I actually use this gear. You can also see that there's a bunch of marks coming across the top of this helmet, and that's because when I ride, I end up kind of smacking trees and things and taking a bunch of abuse, and so this has seen a number of hours of very hard riding. This is just some tape I have in here from a mount that I use. I use a Pro Shot camera mount for my GoPros, and so there's a little bit of that Velcro tape there, and that's kind of where that camera mount goes to, fits right over the front. So getting back to the helmet actually ventilates quite well, and it has a good fit to it, and it's not a heavy helmet. I don't have my exact scale here to tell you how many pounds and ounces this thing is, but it's a pretty lightweight helmet, and it's got good ventilation in the rear, so the air kind of channels through this thing quite well, and just works. So it's DOT approved, it's got the ECE certification, so not a lot to complain about there. The helmet comes in at right around $300, so it's a decent helmet that way too as far as cost. It's not as expensive as some of those $600 helmets out there, but it's also not a bargain basement helmet there either. Here is the issue that I had with the helmet though. As you can see, it's quite dusty because I've gone on a number of rides. I've got a few different helmets, or a couple different helmets anyway, and so I've gone on a number of rides, and this thing is quite dusty. So I wanted to take the inserts out and clean this like I have on so many other helmets that I've used. Well, when I went to carefully pop these inserts out, you'll see what happened. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be able to get those inserts to pop out like that. And there are 3 inserts with each, there are 3 little mounting points with each one of these inserts. But look at this. Here's one, this one popped out correctly, came right out of the side of the helmet here. But these other 2, these actually popped right, this hardware actually popped right out of the side of the helmet, of the inside of the helmet right here, which means that came out of the styrofoam, inside, which means that's never going to go back in. That's a problem, because now this cheek piece is never going to fit, is never going to stay attached to the inside of the helmet. See, that tore right out of the side of the helmet. This is what it's supposed to look like. Hopefully you can see that there. It's supposed to be flush like that, and they've torn these pieces actually tore right out of the side of the helmet instead of just popping out. So this little guy, that little thing is supposed to go down inside of there and snap in. Well, it's never going to be able to snap in anymore because these things have ripped out of the side of the helmet. One thing to note though is that Klim does have a fantastic warranty department and they stand behind their products. So I have no doubt that Klim will be able to make this thing right. And if you have any problem with any of the products that you have from Klim, you might want to just contact them and see if they can make it right for you, because they are a good company that stands behind that. This is the first major letdown that I've had from Klim, and that one is a major letdown. And it's not like I was just ripping the thing apart. I was just coming in here and I was carefully trying to pull those things apart. Now, could you go in with a screwdriver and go in there and pry it apart and get that to come off correctly? Yeah, and I suggest that if you have one of these Klim helmets, you act very, very carefully. As you can see, more than 50% of the ones that I pulled out actually broke. This one ripped out of the side of the helmet. This one ripped out of the side of the helmet. I had one on this side that ripped out of the side of the helmet. So, and then, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, geez, could I continue to pull this stuff out, the liner out? And at that point I was like, you know what? This helmet is basically toast because I've torn those out of the side. Now, you might be able to glue them back in, but it's a problem if you can't take your helmet apart. I've got other helmets that are not in the shop, they're outside, that I've taken apart multiple times and never had that problem. In fact, because this failed, I went ahead and I bought another helmet to replace it. This is actually a fly helmet, so a different brand, but yeah, so it's a mixed bag. As long as I was using the Klim helmet, it was great, it performed great, I had no problems with it, it had good ventilation. But then when I went to take the cheek pieces out and the liners out to clean it and wash it, which is something that you're gonna wanna do, I ended up popping those little guys out of the styrofoam and therefore basically rendering this thing kind of useless. So if you have one of these helmets, just be very careful when you're pulling those pieces out. And Klim, if you're listening, not really sure what happened here. I wasn't trying to rip this thing apart. I was trying to take those out and it just didn't happen for me. So anyway, that's a real world review from somebody who's actually been using this for a number of months. And take it or leave it, guys. I hope that you like these videos. If you like what we're doing, please remember to like the videos, share and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, if you didn't already know, Patreon is the best way to support Dirt Bike Channel. We've got some really cool rewards over there, so click on the link up here that you see to become a patron. That'll take you directly to our site and you can check everything out. You can donate as little as $1 per month and it would really, really help us out. Thanks a ton, guys.